What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trading show here on Sin City Crypto. My name is David, and today I'm wearing my modern art dealer shirt. So it's one thing I got left from the NFT cycle after spending 1 ETH on a freaking launch. So anyways, I'm happy to be here with you guys. It is currently 5:15 p.m. on the West Coast, and so this is something I'm going to be doing with more regularity, which is a live show strictly focused on fundamentals, technicals, and price action trading. So I'm excited to be here with you guys. Eunice was first in here, said from Germany. What's up, Eunice? Also, Ding Dong Daddy, Mario, Wispy, Robert T, and Lucio, and Triple D. Welcome, you guys. I'm thinking about doing maybe a little giveaway today. Anyways, I want you guys to be very active in the chat. If you got questions, something you want me to look at, just conversation, and I will peek in here. We'll peek my head into the chat from time to time. So I am excited. Let's get going. All right. So before I came on, you saw Bitcoin. This is BTC on the 5-minute. It has been rallying. 96.4 is a level that we're looking to catch some resistance at. But if we zoom out to the 4-hour, you can see we're losing steam here, right? On the MACD, the sellers are losing steam. And the funding rates are starting to get reset. One of them I had my eye on was Athena. That funding rate was hugely in the negative, right? As far as open interest goes. Those are starting to revert back to the mean. But again, we shared this in the live stream this morning, but I did put in a long position on BTC. There was some confluence on the support levels right around 95.2, 95.3. I'm not going to regurgitate information I went over in the live show, but anytime Bitcoin has hopped down there, we've gotten rallies of 6%, 10%, 12%, another 8, 9%. And so price has reacted very positively. And not to mention, keep in mind, the stock markets were closed today. And so what is sentiment going to look like coming into tomorrow's open? Also, speaking of, I don't know if any of you follow Anthony Pompliano. When I first got into the space, I used to watch a lot of his content, and nothing wrong with his content now, but I just really don't have the time. But he posted this, so this guy's pretty plugged in. February 18th, which is tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, which is when the markets open, with a smiley face. So started doing a little digging. What could he be possibly talking about? So do my research. I believe it's crypto related, at least Bitcoin related. I truly believe it is. And so what I think it's going to be, which I'm not sure exactly what kind of effect it's going to have on Bitcoin and the altcoins in the crypto markets price action wise. But I bid you adieu. Their earnings are coming out tomorrow. So this is China's leading AI provider. They're a large company. They're a search engine, essentially. They're kind of like Google in China. So I don't know much outside of that surface level. Don't know much about the company, but I know it's a $33 billion company. And you take a look at their total assets for Q3, so quarter ending September of last year. Their total assets were we'll just call it $60 billion. Now, can I speculate and assume that maybe Pomp is referring to, I hate this freaking haptic pad. What is going on? Maybe Pomp is referring to, let me close this out. Maybe Pomp is referring to them announcing potentially acquiring Bitcoin for a company reserve. Maybe it's them expanding into Bitcoin mining. We know China's kind of letting up on the Bitcoin ban, so to say, the mining ban, the trading ban. We know Hong Kong has been extremely forward-looking when it comes to Bitcoin, tech, and crypto. And Hong Kong markets are essentially the sandbox for China, just like Polkadot's got Kusama, right? The Canary Network. Kind of same idea, same relationship. They kind of use the Hong Kong market to test the thesis and how people react to it and how it trades and the amount of money they can make. And then if it's successful, if it's something they like, they'll swing it over to mainland China, which obviously has a much larger economy and stamps. So this could potentially be something that people bid into, gets people excited. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it's something different. If you guys have any insight on this date, but I can't see 9:30 a.m. Eastern. That is literally exactly when the market opens. I can't see being anything else. So either way, could see some of that tomorrow. But again, I don't think it's going to cause Bitcoin to shoot up to 100,000. Then again, I could be wrong. I'll be more than happy to be wrong. Let's take a look at the markets here. Also, if you're new, say hello. So BTC at 96,031. You know, part of me thinks, right? Part of me thinks, and this is the way my brain is wired. I go through 999,000 scenarios in my head because I like to be prepared, whether it's for the best or for the worst. I like to have both situations. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, could we see a replay of what we saw back from March to essentially September, right? This was March of last year here. This channel, right? And you can see how just perfectly on the support and resistance, at least on the daily and the 2 hour, right? Just chop, right? We hit this 73K mark and we come right back down. And if you were trading this at the time, you would have made some pretty good money. And then finally, we got a breakout above that level. Can we see something now? Like, is this what we're going to do now, where we're bouncing in between this 94.8 to, I don't know, 100K level potentially? I think that range obviously is a lot smaller. And so, you know, there's a lot less room. And at some point, when these bands get constricted and price action is really just $2,000 up and down, a 1 or 2% move within a range, that range is going to break a lot sooner than when you have a larger range between 53 and around $74,000. You're talking about a $20,000 range versus like a $5,000 range. So, but that idea has crossed my mind. Could we potentially see? Now, I don't think we're going to see 6 months, 7 months of sideways price action. But could we see this be a theme for Q1, for the remainder of Q1, which includes the rest of February and the entirety of March? Maybe. I'm ready for it. What am I doing to get ready for it? Well, one, I'm just trading the support and resistance levels. It's pretty damn simple, right? You take a look at what your MACD is showing, what RSI is. Are we trading above or below our MA ribbon bands? And are we trading at support or are we trading at resistance? This trade that I put in yesterday or this morning was a trade at support, 95.2. And I'll sell it when it gets to 98.8. I believe actually my sell order, my take profit is at 98.450 or 98.6. So either way, if we're range bound, we can trade the support and the resistance levels. If we're not and we get a breakout, unless we have some sort of, and I don't even want to call it a black swan event, but an event that maybe spooks the markets. I don't know, the Ukraine-Russia negotiations don't go well, or I don't know, something on a macro scale. Another one, actually, now that I'm on macro, another one that I've really been keeping my eye on, and I know a lot of macroeconomists, is the JPY versus the US dollar. And I'll just throw this on here. JPY versus the US dollar on the daily. This thing was breaking out, right? We made a low here right around, this was back on January 9th, and we've just been grinding upwards. The problem is the Central Bank of Japan has kept their interest rates at negative, right? Negative. And now they're having to hike the rates, which means all the people that borrowed money for cheap against the yen, their bill is going to come due. And that is, if you guys remember, that is what completely wrecked the Bitcoin, crypto, and the entirety of the stock market. This was a few months ago where they came, oh, this was actually last year, apologies. This was last year, I believe in August or July or August. They raised the rates, it was fine. And then 2 months later, I think they raised again and everything just collapsed, right? And so you got a lot of margin calls, you got people got to pay back at a higher value than they borrowed. And now they got to sell off a bunch of risk assets, a bunch of stocks, a bunch of equities. And that really caused a shakeout in the market. Could we see something similar? That is what I'm keeping my eye on. That is also what a lot of macroeconomists are keeping their eye on. But this is something that could be that black swan event, or that what's like between a white and like a gray swan, like not like, oh my God, the world is ending, the markets are down 20,000 points, but something that's enough to shake the confidence of investors when they go on a selling spree for markets. So that is something I'm keeping my eye on. And of course, what the Fed's going to be doing. So just some macro factors. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to hop over to the chat, see how you guys are doing. Again, if you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is David. Mario said, I'm excited to learn trading with BuyDeFi. You know, Mario, I'm happy you mentioned BuyDeFi. Guys, I'm excited. So we have first numbers are in. So we partnered with BuyDeFi to do a trading competition, and we're giving away rewards every week and at the end of the 4 weeks. So here's how it works. At the end of the 4 weeks, the number one trader, now this is the important part. A lot of exchanges base it off of volume, because the more volume you have, the more money they make. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want it to be an even playing field. I don't want someone who's a whale who's got $100,000 in a trading account to come in and put in 2 trades of $5,000 and blow everyone out of the water. I want to find out who the best traders are. So we decided to do it based off of ROI. Now, at the end of the 4 weeks, the number one ROI trader will get $500. Number 2 get $300. And then the third one will get $200. Now, there is a minimum trading volume of 100K. But guys, this is like the lowest barrier to entry. I don't want to say ever, but it's pretty damn low. It's like 5 trades. It's literally like 5 trades. So we take a look at our leaderboard. B651 is currently in the lead at 5%. So having some rough time here with some of the other people trading, but that's okay. All it really takes is one swing trade that just absolutely explodes the way you're going, and you could be at the top of the leaderboard. Now, the cool thing here too is if you have a bad week, it's okay, because every single week on Monday, we're giving away $300 to the number one person right here for ROI every single Monday. And then this is going to be the cumulative of all the 4 weeks. Also at the very end, we're giving $300 to the highest volume trader. So I'm also participating in this competition. And I want to say, if I win any money, I will be giving that right back to the community, doing a giveaway. Obviously, I'm not going to take the money and just put it in my pocket. So super excited for that. And all you guys literally have to do is just sign up with the BuyDeFi link that's pinned to the top of the live show comments right now. You don't got to apply for it, nothing. You just trade like you normally do, but you're under the Sin City umbrella, the affiliate umbrella, and you're automatically entered and you participate to win. So shout out to BuyDeFi. I love those guys. Those guys are absolutely amazing. And just the simple fact of them, this is almost, we're talking about like $2,500 to $3,000. So super excited for that. All right. This post was interesting. You know, this is Kyle from ICP. He said, this is the biggest problem we aren't talking about. Now, if you're unsure what this means, these are Bitcoin blocks, okay? And what he's referencing is the mempool. Take a look at the amount of transactions, and you can literally see by, hey, is this thing filled to the top with purple, or is it gray? Gray, no good. Purple, really good. See this block here that's cut off, 3,400 transactions, which saw fees of 0.027 BTC. Obviously, we know miners, they get paid off a block reward and transaction fees that are in each block that they mine. The problem is when there's no transactions, like you see here, 65 transactions, 460 transactions, 250 transactions, 0.002 Bitcoin in fees. This is going to be even more important as the halving cycles continue and the block rewards get cut from 6.25. We already got that cut to 3.175, and then cut that in half again in 2028. We need these numbers to go up. So I decided to take a look at what are the blocks looking at currently now. Now, the latest block, let me just refresh this to make sure we got the right amount. The latest block saw 0.02 Bitcoin in fees with 1,700 transactions. So not bad. This thing is ticking back up. It's filled around 207%. With 638 Bitcoin going back and forth. Now, why is this important? This is important because, one, if the miners they're not making money, they're going to unplug their ASICs. But the beauty of Bitcoin is it automatically adjusts the difficulty. So if miners are pulling out their ASICs out of the network, the difficulty drops, making it more lucrative for other miners or the same miners potentially to plug those ASICs back in and earn the rewards, because it takes less computational power, which means less overhead, which means less energy. to mine the Bitcoin block. So shout out to Kyle for putting this up there. But again, we're kind of in this lull and dull moment for BTC. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Take a peek at the chat again. Sam Fox. Okay. You know what, Sam? You're going to timeout. 10 minutes. See you later. Come back. Don't spam the chat with BS. Ding Dong Daddy, where are the mods? You know what, Ding Dong Daddy? Here you go. I am going to promote you, my friend. Ding Dong Daddy, you're officially a mod. Congratulations. I know you've been with our you've been with us for a while. So, David, what's your thought on another notable sell-off before we get the next leg? I think it's possible, dude. I really think it's possible. I know Rob is more bullish than I am. Like, here's the thing, right? You can be micro bearish as far as price action and where you think it's going to go and still be an absolute bull on BTC. I don't think the bull market's over. I don't think Bitcoin's going to 40K. Can I see it go to 80, 81? Yeah. Will I be happy? Hell yeah. Well, depends. Depends on how my bank account's looking, because if I got enough money to pull the trigger on some buys, I'll be absolutely happy. But to say there's no way of getting more downside, I think is fallible, right? You got to be able to understand and try to extrapolate what can we expect, what are we seeing, and what can I expect to see in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 12 months. You guys got to remember, this cycle has accelerated around 7 months, okay? We got our all-time high before the halving, when normally we get that all-time high 5 to 7 months post-halving, so after the halving. So everything is kind of shifted to the right a little bit by around 3 to 7 months. And just to prove a point, I'll kind of show you guys. We'll go to CoinGlass real quick. We'll take a look at these numbers. Let's take a look at Bitcoin returns. Now, quarterly returns, okay? Historically, 68%, 71%, 103%, right? Then you got a couple duds, 8.7, 11.8, and then 539%. But the glaring one here for me is ETH. Q1 has been the quarter for Ethereum, and that has completely fallen by the absolute wayside. You can see here the average return for ETH for Q1 has been 80.42%. The only red quarters we've had have been in bear markets. Well, unless we're in a bear market and no one told me, which I don't think we are, I believe we're in a bull market, this just tells me that, hey, maybe, just maybe, we're looking at like a end of 20s. I mean, I don't even know, but because look, 2020, 2021, right? 2020, even with the COVID pandemic in March, right? You had this 3%, and then Q2 just absolutely, the rest of the year just blew through. And so if you look at this solely, you just might say to yourself, well, we're in a bear market. But if you look at this and you go down, you take a look at the monthly returns, this is for BTC. I think, we always talk about this cycle is different. You have to look at every cycle, right? The people are going to be the same, right? Traders are going to have this, like, certain things are not going to change, but every cycle something new is introduced, right? New players. This cycle is a cycle of the institutions, and we know those guys move slow. We also know that they like to hedge. What do? They short the futures, they long the spot, right? They put options orders in and they let those things expire, or they maybe exercise their options and they sell the shares for a profit. At the end of the day, this cycle will look different. It's already starting to look different. So I'm not completely writing off the idea that is the top end. I think chances of that are like 5%, maybe 10%. I don't think that's the case. The idea of potentially another big sell-off, I'd put that right around 30%. But again, if you're prepared for it and you got some dry powder on the sidelines, or you're ready to pull the trigger, it's just another excellent buying opportunity, because at the end of the day, unless something fundamentally changes with Bitcoin, it still holds the same value as far as value proposition that a lot of people bought, including potentially yourself. So hope that answered your question, my friend. Appreciate it. Also, guys, we got 88 people watching and 34 likes. Stan said, if Ethereum falls in 25, it will be historical. I can't see it, man. I can't. you take a look at, and I wish I had this pulled up, but you take a look at the amount of money that institutions have been buying ETH, and just look here. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart, okay? Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart and take a look at what happened when the ETF got approved, okay? ETF got approved in January, okay? January 10th. Where's January 10th? Now I'm going to get rid of these support and resistance lines. Let me find January 10th, and I'll plot a vertical line here. So January 10th, okay? To the right, this is January 10th. We saw a little bit of a sell-off, right? Let's look at historically what Bitcoin did. Had about a 20% sell-off, okay? 20% sell-off from when the ETF went live, and it lasted about 13 days, 2 weeks. And then what did we see? We saw Bitcoin rally around 85% over a course of 49 days, right? 49 candles, 49 days. And then we literally we're just range bound, right? Range bound and range bound. This was our price action for literally, and I'll just take the top of this, right? For literally 240 days. 240 days, Bitcoin just went up, tap resistance, got rejected, came back down, tap support, got rejected or bounced back, up, down, up, down, up, down for 240 days. That's almost 8 months of sideways price action. And you go to ETH. Now, the one thing I will say with ETH is we're on the daily. Let's zoom out again. Now, the ETH chart, you know, I need to change the sensitivity on my mouse because that thing was rolling hard. Okay, so ETH, I believe, let me just double check. When was Ethereum spot ETF approval date? May 23rd, okay? So May 23rd of 2024, okay? Let's drop a horizontal line here on May 23rd, 2024. Okay. May 23rd of 2024. Does this look familiar, my friends? ETH drops 50%, so 46%. Here, you know what? Let's bring Bitcoin in here. Let's take a look. Let's bring Bitcoin in here so we can compare the two. All right. So here's BTC, right? This is the initial sell-off again after, and you take a look at ETH, okay? So looking at a side-by-side comparison of Bitcoin to Ethereum. And again, let me drop a line here not to confuse anyone. Let's move that over one. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Right when ETH got approved, right when BTC got approved. They're both on the daily, same time frame, right? ETH comes out of it, goes down 47%. BTC comes out of it, goes down 21%, okay? Then the difference here is ETH chopped sideways from the 7th of August to the 2nd of November, okay? So one can argue, was this Ethereum's 6-month window? And here, was this Ethereum's, well, this was a 3-month window of chopping sideways like we saw with BTC, right? BTC, again, was 240 days. ETH was 90 days. Then we saw a rise of around 81% in the price of ETH when it got to around $4,100. It was on the 20th of December. And Bitcoin, again, after we broke out of that channel, we saw BTC gain around 62%, and we had that double top. So could we see something similar to what Bitcoin did with ETH? Potentially. But to sit here and say ETH is gone, ETH is dead, guys, there's a reason that World Liberty Finance, is backed by Donald Trump's family, is buying Ethereum. There's a reason ETH is #1 in RWA market cap. There's a reason that, I mean, it's just, it would be foolish to write Ethereum off, especially with the trend we're seeing. I think it's only a matter of time, and I'm telling you, I'm telling you, the catalyst is going to be staking on the ETF. So think of it this way. You're BlackRock and you're like, okay, I got $20 billion of customer money that I have sitting on Ethereum. Okay, we're making 0.25%. Great money. Do the math. I'm not very good at math. Actually, I'm very good at math. But 25, what was that? $250 million in fees. Not bad. But what if we can take that $20 billion or even $10 billion, stake it liquidly on chain? And we know Lido just came out with V3, which is literally geared towards institutional staking. And on top of the 0.25%, we can earn another 3.5%, 4%. Do the math on that, on $10 billion or $20 billion. On top of that, what if they're allowed to pay some of that back to their holders as a dividend? Imagine the amount of money that's going to flow into the Ethereum ETF if that is allowed. So that is one thing. And so I'm no way, shape, or form am I bearish on ETH. Obviously, it doesn't have the same allure as a smart contract platform. And you can see by the price action, just take a look at how ETH has performed versus BTC. It has literally been just like, I mean, is there an uglier chart in crypto than this, right? Is there an uglier chart in crypto than this? For over 2 years, almost 3 years, we've done nothing but bleed against Bitcoin. Call it 3 years because this was a top back on December 2021. Against Bitcoin, Ethereum has bled 70%. Okay. It's going to bounce back. Now, the whole idea of is it going to outperform BTC? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. And that's totally fine. But to say ETH is not going anywhere, to say ETH is not going to make a new all-time high, to say ETH won't be at 10K if Bitcoin's at 300K, I think is absolutely foolish. And I think you'll lose out. Now, you'll get better gains in other areas. You'll get better gains, I believe, in Chainlink. You'll get better gains, I believe, in SWI. You'll get better gains, I believe, in hbar, right? This is from the hbar video we did earlier. You'll get better gains near protocol, Aave, right? ICP, definitely Ondo. So you'll get better gains, but don't sleep on ETH. That's the one thing I'll say is do not sleep on ETH. Don't be like my co-host Robin and make that mistake. All right, Solana is sexier than ETH in my opinion. Do you know Solana's price is lower than it was in March of last year, yet the price has gone sideways for a year? It's just, I mean, the thing with Solana, you got to remember, guys, like 75 to 90% of all Solana transactions were in meme coins. That is not sustainable, in my opinion. Now, I think Solana's got a lot more going for it. It's got the RWA narrative. It's got stable coins, institutions. It's got an ETF coming. So, but it needs to move out of that 75 to 90% of all transactions on Solana being on meme coins. And I'm telling you, man, the meme coin meta, for established meme coins, I don't think it changes anything. Doge, Pepe, SHIB, SNEC, a few of the other ones, right? Floki. I'm not saying buy these. I'm not, putting my stamp of approval on them. Take a little sip real quick. But the new meta, or the meta of get in early and just hold it, and that meta, I think, is dead. You're still going to have some people launching meme coins. And actually, speaking of that, while I'm here, so this is none other than, I don't know if it's a good thing if you guys know who this guy is, but he pretty much pimps his wife out. They have like a podcast. His name is Adam22. And well, here's his big announcement. Wow.
Yo, it's Adam22, and I am coming to the crypto world, dropping my first ever meme coin. So make sure you stay tapped in. It's dropping on Solana ASAP.
Listen how he says Solana.
ASAP. Dropping on Solana ASAP.
Solana. I do want to highlight one funny comment. Patty I said, bro, you're late. You're getting sloppy seconds. So anyways, you're still going to see people like this, right? Grifters. And you know what, man? Honestly, ask yourself this question. Just ask yourself this question. You have an audience, okay? Let me get rid of this guy on the screen. You have an audience that you've spent years building up, right? You build influence in whatever sector of the world you're in. And the whole idea of it is to monetize it, right? Is to monetize it. Now, where you draw the line and the difference between good and bad is, are you monetizing by giving your audience value? Are you monetizing by extracting value from your audience? So the guy is looking at it like, how much did Trump make? How much did the Argentina make? The president? How much? I mean, could you say no to that if you had the audience you knew that would buy? Now, I'm not saying that they should or what they want to do, but at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen. But you're not going to see, I believe, I could be wrong, you're not going to see massive amounts of inflows into meme coins. I mean, look at, and guys, I'll get into ADA and XRP here in a second, but just look at the Trump chart, okay? Now, this thing has bounced back, okay? Let's go Trump here. I mean, like, who wants to sit through this? Who wants to sit from 76 to $14? I mean, what is that? You can't even throw the fibs on there because 80%. 80%. I mean, is the Argentina one even on here? Let's look at Libra. Oh, it is on here, I think. Is this the right one? I'm not sure if this is the right one. Either way, right? The whole meme coin meta of buy in for the community and we're all going to make a lot of money. And no, that game is ruined. That game is done. So again, your projects, right? You take a look at some of the top meme coins. Your projects like Doge will do just fine. They've been around for a long time. They got a big user base. Your projects like SHIB, right? Where does SHIB go? SHIB, you'll do fine. Now, it's not, I don't think it's going to get back up to its previous all-time high. Maybe it will. Maybe the meme coin meta, maybe people are still excited about the idea of meme coins. They just don't want to take a risk on new ones, and they go to the top ones. Again, Doge, SHIB, and the lot. I think projects like Pepe will do fine, right? They got longevity. They've been around, I mean, at least on this chart, 2 years. Fine. But the new meta of, hey, there's a new meme coin launching, let's all throw our money in and hold, it could be the next SHIB, it could be the next Pepe. Unless something fundamentally changes with how these things are launched, what people are doing, I don't think it's going to change one bit. You know what? Actually, now that I'm on this chart, I'm going to take a look at something. Ooh. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the crossover on the MACD and where this price is. The problem is, and I'm just thinking out loud here. This is what I do. The problem is, you got a fat setup for a bear flag here, right? Bear flag, just. So, I don't know. I mean, this is on the daily. Let's see what the 1 hour is doing on Pepe. Could this be a trade setup right now? Let's see. So this is Pepe on the 1 hour. Okay, we're gonna wait for our support and resistance bands to wake up. We might be getting a bearish crossover on the MACD. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. I mean, we're kind of in no man's land, right? We're not near support. We're not near resistance. Take a look at the 2 hour. What's that looking like? I mean, we did get a crossover above our zero line, which is good, right? Which is good. Let's see where the 2 hour support and resistance come. I think it's actually going to be the same thing. Let's go to the 4 hour. I'm curious on the 4 hour. So MACD 4 hour. Let's see if we got a crossover. We got a crossover, and it happened right at our zero line. Just simply put, for MACD, if you get the blue line, which is your MACD line, crossing above your orange line, which is your signal line, that is typically bullish, depending on where it happens and where price is. So for a bullish signal, you want to see the blue cross above the orange below the histogram, below this midline. And for the flip side, for bearish, you want to see this cross right here. This is where you want to see, okay? We'll draw a little circle around here. This is what you want to see right here. But the more important thing is when you see this, where is price, right? Because this could be a false signal night in and night, like just all the time. And in this case, it wasn't really a false signal depending on where you got in. Typically, you probably would have gotten in right at the close here, right around, it's too many zeros to label the price. You probably would have got in right here on the close. You could have ridden this thing down for a 3.6% gain, multiply it by leverage. But a strong play that will play out in your favor more times than not is to watch for the crossovers, right? Bearish crossover above our zero line, bullish crossover below our zero line, and price being at support and resistance respectively. So if this crossover happened here and price was here, this would have been an easy short. You probably could have made, I don't know, 60, 70%, depending on what kind of leverage you're using. So there's just a couple things to keep in mind, especially when you're on the lower time frames. But again, this looks like a huge bear flag to me, right? It looks like a massive bear flag. And let's get rid of our support and resistance lines. Let's see, just a short view. So every time frame outside of the 1 and the 4 hour are currently in the red. So they're negative. And I mean, this move here, let's see this move. Let's drop a trend line here. So we won't even take, so this move here, depending on where we break out, right? If we break out right from where we are now, you're looking at around a 50. Ooh, that's brutal. I don't know if it'll drop 50%, but I don't know. Something to keep an eye on. If this thing does break support right around this 795 level, I mean, you're really, I mean, here, let's throw some volume on here. I mean, you'll catch some support at 788, tons of volume, but outside of that, I mean, 47, maybe. So this will be a key level. We'll see what Pepe does, but not something I'm actively looking to trade. Just something that kind of caught my eye as I was going through it. All right. Love your videos. Thank you, Anime. We appreciate it. Is that my nephew? Brennan, is that you? Let me know. I know you're into anime. Ada is hot garbage. Okay, why is Ada hot garbage? I'm curious. If the new administration can give a tush push, interesting, tush push, to U.S. crypto, that's a win for 25. I agree. You know one thing, and let me just pull this up. Maybe it's your first cycle. Maybe you're confused. Like, hey, everyone keeps talking about, oh my God, crypto is going to do this. And why is price going up? I want to share this post here. Okay. Let me share this post. Take a hit of my vape real quick. Fuck current prices, okay? Fuck them. Fuck the current prices. Fuck ETH at 2,700. Fuck Bitcoin at 96K and bouncing around. Fuck it. You know why? Because the president, and this was back on the 23rd of January, just signed the most bullish executive order for crypto that'll set the tone for the next 4 years. We got 4 years of the most pro-crypto administration ever in the largest capital markets in the world ever with the world reserve currency. Right? If you just zoom out, don't pay attention to the 1 hour chart, the 4 hour chart. Now we're doing this for the sake of content and because you guys like trading. I like trading also. But at the end of the day, man, just zoom out and just understand what is happening. And also understand that these things don't happen overnight. It's literally been a month. Not even a month. It's been less than 30 days since Donald Trump took office. 2 years of both the House, the Senate, the presidency. We'll see what happens in 2026 with the midterms or 2026, 2027 is when the new people will go into place. But give it some time, man. Literally, I know right now in the markets, you're looking at news comes out and price doesn't move. That's going to change. That's going to change. And so don't get frazzled. Don't get in your own head and kind of have some clarity on what's going on. And all you got to do sometimes is step back, zoom out, and understand what's happening in front of our eyes. And if you just fall in love with short-term price action and price is going down and oh my God, you're going to not only drive yourself crazy, but you're probably going to make some mistakes financially and lose money. And obviously that's the last thing we want anyone in our community to do. All right, let's take a look at, I was taking a look at DeFi Llama. Sonic has been crushing it, right? If you're not familiar, Sonic was, where did Sonic go? I thought it was here somewhere. Sonic was formerly, here we go. Sonic was formerly known as Phantom. They're up 50% on TVL over the last 7 days. Jesus, sorry guys. 50% over the last 7 days on TVL, okay? And also over the last, right here, 50%. And over the last 30 days, they're up 172%. Now, the rebrand from Phantom to Sonic, it was kind of meant to highlight how quick their blockchain is. I personally have not used it, but I know people who have, and they say there's very few, if not none, blockchains that are as smooth and fast as Sonic. And we know with Andre Cronje at the helm, Sonic and DeFi are going to be at the forefront. You take a look at, let's take a look at the chart of what Sonic's looking like. So Sonic, let's grab the perpetuals. That is not correct. Yeah, that's not right. 30 cents. Sonic should be at 62 cents. Okay. Let's go back here. There we go. All right. So here you have Sonic. Now, obviously, you can go back to the Phantom chart and kind of look at historical price action. But I mean, this was just a beautiful cup and handle setup, right? Here you go. Here's your cup. Here's your handle, and here's your breakout. Now, where was this move going? Let's measure the depth of our cup from our breakout. So we're probably going around 71.8 cents. Okay, this measured move here. So let's get rid of this. Let's zoom out to the lower time frame. Take a look, just making higher. I mean, it's like you see, I mean, just look at this pattern, right? You got 5% to the downside and then just 3 solid candles, right? Then you gain back 9%. More recently, again, these are 1 hour candles. You're looking at a 4% downside and then you're seeing just a massive green candle. So Sonic is one. Let's do this. Let's take a look at what this is looking like. Okay, that's good. Everything's bullish. Oh, that's what I wanted to look at. So 65.65 is really our next level of resistance for Sonic, which makes sense. I mean, you look back here on 22nd of January, we saw Sonic rally from its support at 50 cents, and then it rallied all the way up to that 65-cent level. Then we saw a huge spill off, right? That first chunk was around 20%. And then we kind of chopped sideways, and then we tapped out at 55 cents and saw another 22% drawdown. So I fully expect, if this pattern continues, right? If that cup and handle continues, what was that on the daily? If this daily cup and handle follows through and we get that measured move, I think we're going to see a little bit of a pullback right around 65.65 cents. So for me, trading, there's just, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, there's just not enough volatility to put in this trade, right? We just broke resistance. This is a good sign, but 65. Now, what I'd be more interested in doing is shorting this level, right? Looking out for the MACD, seeing what's happening. Are we going to get a crossover on our signal line, signal crossing above? And is that going to happen near resistance? Is that going to happen near 65 cents? If it does, I will be entering into a short position on Sonic, unless something macro side has changed on for the markets. Big news, everyone's bullish again, and yay, we're back in the bull market. And then this, I do want to talk about this as well. So this is the RSI heat map according to CoinGlass. So you see what's overbought, oversold. Sonic, Optimism, Maker, all overbought. Oversold, Solana, Drift, and Stormex. Let's take a Solana. I mentioned in the live show this morning, Solana's cooked, but it's cooked in the short term until we see a new narrative pop up for Sol. So you take a look. Let's see if we can see any divergence here for the RSI. So this is sold on the 1 hour. That's 4 hour. This is sold on the 1 hour. Okay. See if we're seeing anything we can potentially put a trade in. I mean, this chart's not really looking good, right, guys? I mean, 205, just spill off, lower lows, lower highs. Maybe inverse head and shoulders potentially, right? Potentially a inverse head and shoulders. Maybe then we take that to the upside. I don't know. But you know what, actually? Let's take a look. So this is your RSI, okay? Give me that. So this is your RSI. We're seeing, right? I mean, we're seeing a little bit of, take a look at the same time frame, what price has done. Okay, so what are we seeing? What is this? This is bullish divergence on the 1 hour, okay? And you can see here we had a double bottom, at least on the 1 hour, at our 1 hour, 2 hour, and our daily support. And this was 6 hours ago. We saw price come down here and bounce back 3.18%. But again, we did put in a lower low. You know, the trade here would have been right at 175. Now I know it's $3 off, but when you're talking about really tight ranges, what I expect this thing to happen is I expect this thing to bump up against this 179 level, which it's only $1 away, and get rejected. And then I'm curious to see what this shows, and I'm curious to see if what the RSI is looking like, because right now this is a bullish divergence. We go to the 2 hour, yeah, same thing. Let's go to the 12. Let's take a look over the 12. Oh yeah, this is a big level right here, 175. 175 is a critical level. I mean, take a look at this. This is on the 12 hour for Sol. You see 12 hour and 1 day, you're seeing 175 being extremely strong support. And you take a look at what price has done previously at these levels, right? And I'm going to get rid of this because there's a lot of lines here. We're just going to drop a horizontal line at 175. Take a look at what price has done, right? Let's go back to May of last year. We broke above, came right back down, retested twice, failed. Broke above, came back down, and then just blew right through it. On the way back up, failed on a retest, blew right through it. Never really came back to retest until December 24th. So we broke out on November 24th, and a month later came back and retest. Price actually responded very positively, going up around 25%. And the big one here was this retest back on the 13th of January of this year, where we saw Sol go from 175 to 295, which was a 67% gain. You know, this might be a good, this is a trade right now? Let me go out to the daily and see what the daily's looking like. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put in a Solana trade. All right, so I'm going to put a trade on Solana. I'm going to put a long trade, right? Why am I putting a long trade? One, it's oversold on the 4 hour, and I bet you it's probably oversold on the 12 hour. Yeah, not as strongly oversold, but it's there. And then on the 1 hour, it's kind of right in the middle right here, right? It's still considered weak, right? You're looking at a 40 RSI, so not completely oversold. But I mean, every time frame we've gone down, this has been a key level. And again, that bullish divergence on the 1 hour for Sol. Now, a couple things I want to do. One is I want to set my stop loss right below. I want to set my stop loss right below this level. I'm gonna go back to the 12 hour. I want to set my stop loss right below. So we're gonna set my stop loss at 172.67. So we're going to go market order, isolated. I'm going to go 10x leverage. I'm going to go, let's go 750. So TP, if you're not familiar, TP is take profit, SL is stop loss. So the stop loss, the reason I'm doing the price I'm talking about is because unless we get a scam wick below where we just come right back in, I want to be able to take that and still be in the trade. And so I'm looking at like 172.12 where I want my stop loss to be. So 172.12, and then we'll just do 172.1 is fine. And then for our take profit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go back to here, and that is too high of a time frame. Let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, see where our support and resistance are going in. And then yeah, this thing, and you know what? While this is loading up, let's check the funding rates for Solana. Solana funding rates are still currently positive. So I would love to see that in negative. So, I mean, look at this gap, right? It's not even, here, let's go to the 1 hour, right? 4 hour, there was no resistance between 172 and 205. Now, can it just turbo boost? Yeah, there we go. 196. That's our 1 hour. So I want to be a little below there, right? I don't want to get too greedy. I want to be right around that 189, right? This is where price came back down and it was support. So on the way up, we expect this thing to be flipped to resistance. And so 189.20 is going to be my take profit. 189.20. So double check, isolated 10x, Solana market order long, stop loss. So we triggered immediately. Oh, because the price is down. Where's the price at? Oh, because this is BTC. Okay. Solana. There we go. 51x. Who the hell was on this account? Okay. Solana, market order, TP, take profit. We're going to go 182.10. Let me just double check that. No, 189.20. It's been a long day, guys. My apologies. 189.20. And then stop loss, we're going to do 170, 120. Let's go back and check. Yeah, I'm happy with that. 170, 120. We'll take a wick down there just in case it's a scam wick. Bam. And then we'll do 750. We got a take profit. We got our stop loss. And we've entered into a long position. So here's what this trade looks like. Our liquidation point is at 160.92, but we won't get there because we have a stop loss and a take profit order put in. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll come back next week and kind of check in on this trade. I'm going to go to the chat here and kind of say what's up to our people here. Stan said, I like a caution in the AI sector. Sol is cooked. TP 255. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no. Raul Paul, James from Advanced Instagram, which all Solana suckers. These guys constantly brought up the weak performance of XRP. You know, XRP, man. I was a critic of XRP, and one of my biggest faults with XRP was if I'm holding XRP as a investment, I want it to go up in value. And the way it goes up in value is the price of the token goes up. On the flip side, you have the company Ripple, who publicly stated that they would like to see the price of the XRP token remain stable. Fine, that's great, cool. But as an investor, I do not want to be in a project that the entity behind it wants the price to remain stable. So I said XRP is not my thing. I think you guys know we bring Forrest on the show every Friday. He pretty much slowly started to black pill me with XRP. And I know, you know, I understand their utility, what they're doing. And so, hey, sometimes the market does not care what Ripple wants, what any company wants. Traders will do what they do. Investors do what they do. And the price went up. You saw XRP. They're about to flip ETH, right? We're at 2x away from flipping ETH if ETH stays the same. So looking at about $5.20 if ETH remains the same. And then something like ADA, right? ADA has actually been ADA's been rallying fairly nicely. So let's go to ADA here. Let's go to the daily. So it's Cardano USDT on Binance. And you take a look here, and I'll get rid of these SR lines. But I mean, you guys know me. I love flags. I love the American flag. I love the Armenian flag. And I love bull flags. I also like trading bear flags. And this was just a perfect setup. Call it a pennant, call it a flag, whatever you want to do. Now, the measured move for this one, right, if we take the breakout here, it would be ADA back to 95.7 cents, which makes sense because, well, that 95 cent to $1 level is extremely important. So, yeah, I mean, again, ADA is 80 cents. And so I'm curious to see what ADA versus BTC looks like. It says ADA versus Bitcoin on the daily. So it looks like we found a bottom here. And yeah, I mean, we need to take out this level here, right, to flip this from green or from red to green. But I'm a big believer in ADA. I love what ADA is doing. I know it's a slow mover. And so if you're looking for a quick 5, 10x, ADA is not your project. If you're looking for something long-term, a project that puts building and developers first, ADA is an excellent project to have in your portfolio. So not financial advice, obviously, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Cardano does this cycle. You know, last cycle, ADA rallied up to $3 without any functionality, no smart contracts, no nothing. And then the bull market ended. Now we're 3 years removed from that time, and the ecosystem has grown. Would love to see a stable coin in there. Haven't had that yet. I think that's kind of holding them back a little bit, but Chang 2.0 is done. It's ready to go. Now you got the treasury unlocked, DREPs going online. And so will we see proposals to bring a USDC or a USDT on chain on ADA? Potentially, yes. But that's something that I think will really drive, because the user experience and the community on ADA is, I mean, second to none. And what these guys do from a technical standpoint and how it's built out, it's truly awesome. And with Hydra here, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Trump and Charles. We know he's been visiting there. So ADA is one that I'd keep on your radar. And we know, I know, historically, when ADA moves, it moves, right? It moves, and it moves very fast. So, guys, I think that'll do it today. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I have your notification bell on. And please, literally costs you nothing. Create an account, and you'll automatically be entered into this trading competition. Honestly, if you win every single week and you're a badass trader, that's $1,200 plus $500, that's $1,700. And if you're the highest volume, that's 2 G's. 2 G's, no strings attached, right into your spot account, pull it out the 1 minute later, doesn't matter. And so if you haven't done so, do it. I pinned that to the top of the comment section. Also, guys, we'll be doing this every single weekday, potentially on Saturdays also. And so make sure you sub, and love you guys. Appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow morning in studio for the regular live show. Until then, guys.